that is model training. So once you have your model finalized or your algorithm finalized, then you have to start training it to get outcome of it. So in model training, the first step is that whatever data set we have to divide that data set into different sets. And after dividing this data, we have to feed this data to our algorithm or to model to help it learn the patterns and work on the problem that we are trying to solve. And typically we have to divide these data sets into three type of sets. The first is the training set, second is the validation set, third is the testing set. So first we have to start training our model on the training set. Then we will use the validation data set to validate the results of the trained model. We will, once we have validated, then we will test it on a different set. So this is how it works. So the most common splits are the 17 15 15. So 70% is the training data set, 15% of the data we use for validation, and then 15% of the data we use for testing the outcomes. And it can differ based on the requirement. It can be 80 10 10, or it can be 16 20 20 as per the requirement that you have and as per the data size. Then how to decide that what type of split we should have? So for that, a general consideration is that we should have larger training sets when we have very limited data, and whenever we have lot of data or very huge data set, that time we can have lesser training set and more of the validation and testing set. So I'm repeating it again that larger training sets are preferred when data is limited, while larger validations and larger test sets are useful whenever you have a lot of data. That time the size of your training can be less. So let's say, for example, if you have a small data set, so that time you can take 80 10 10 split. And if you have very huge data set, or and you are trying to build a e-commerce model, that time you can take 60% of the training data, 20% validation, and 20% test data or evaluation data. And the goal of these splits and the performance should be that your model is able to perform well on unseen data also. So that is how we have to strike the balance. And once we have started training of the data based on the split that we have decided for models, it begins to learn the patterns and the correlation from this data. And this includes the understanding how the specific feature is influencing the target variable. So here the specific feature can be the age of the person, for example, and which might influence the target variable, that is like prediction if this customer is fraud or not. The customer who have the higher number of visits on the website and have low purchase history might indicate a higher churn. So all these patterns and correlation will be understood while we are training our model.